Hey everyone, it's the Miserable Movie Man back once again with another video. As I mentioned on my channel last week, I wanted to do a video on my personal top 5 Robert Redford films. The man is an absolute legend. Not only is he a brilliant actor, he's a brilliant director, he's a brilliant advocate of film. He founded Sundance. So I think the word icon isn't used too frequently, but this man was an icon. And personally, I really enjoyed watching him almost any time he was on the screen. Now, these are my personal top 5 favorite films of his, counting down in reverse order. And he's done so many films that it was really hard to choose from. I mean, if you look at some of his credits, they're amazing, like The Natural or Out of Africa. You know, he was in The Indecent Proposal, A River Runs Through It. He even got into Marvel later on. He was in The Great Gatsby. He was in a number of these films. But what I'm going to do really is focus on the films that I like him in the most. Some a bit old, some a little bit newer. But I think you will, sort of know all these films, hopefully at least. And if you haven't, please check them out. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to start with number 5. And actually, this is a fairly recent film of his that I watched actually on the plane when I was going to London. I hadn't seen it before, but I heard a lot about 3 Days of the Condor. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very tightly paced, well-acted film. And Redford himself is great in this film. I think he's done a number of films with Pollack before this and after this. But this film to me really hit home how he plays this kind of everyman character in most of the films he's in. He's almost like the Harrison Ford of his era. But one thing he brings that's amazing is he brings a level of intelligence, I think, to all of his roles. Yes, he's supposed to be a CIA analyst that's book smart and, is being hunted down. I'm not going to go too much into the details of the plot. You should watch it for yourself. But, he's supposed to be a very smart analyst, and you can see him using his brains. And Redford has always been able to do that. He pulls off this easygoing, likable charm with this real sort of background hint of intelligence and sophistication and just smarts that he's in his roles. 3 Days of the Condor was, really interesting to see him go from the different stages of his character of just, sort of relaxed and fun and easygoing, and then he gets a bit worried and nervous, and then he starts, really looking over his shoulder at everything, wondering how he's going to get out of this crazy mess that he's in, all through some nonchalant research that, he had to be doing. So there is a little bit of I think, a weak point in that film, which is the romance element with Faye Dunaway. I know there's people are going to say it was Stockholm Syndrome in how she fell for him. I thought that was just a little bit too easy, or maybe it was the 70s and everyone kind of fell for everyone at that time anyway. But either way, I really enjoyed 3 Days of the Condor way more than I thought I was. I saw it on a small screen on the plane. But even then, I think that this film is a great vehicle for Redford, showing why his boyish charm and good looks and his sensibilities work in the roles he's picked. So that's a wonderful film to start with, and that is my number 5. Number 4, controversial number 4, but I'm going with The Sting. Obviously the first of a few collaborations he did with Paul Newman. But I really like The Sting. It highlights his charisma, and that's something that he brings to the screen every time he's on it in films. It's a great film, really fun to watch, brilliant performances by the two of them. They play off each other really well. They play off the other characters really well. And, in that film, Redford is not really the leading man as such, as he's used to, but you can see that when he's on the screen, he holds the screen, even with such a great actor like Paul Newman. So, I really enjoyed The Sting. I watched it a few times. I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't seen it. Absolute classic Redford and Newman film. That comes in at number 4. Then we go to number 3. Some people put this at number 1, but it's number 3 for me. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Again, another Redford and Newman collaboration. What amazing films they gave us, both individually and together. And you can see, again, their chemistry on screen. This particularly showcases how good they are together. The way that they are, the banter, the sort of hijinks. Redford plays a cowboy in it. He could have been potentially miscast, but again, I think he pulls it off really well. He's got this kind of laconic style, and sort of the way that he comes into and out of scenes is really good. The way that he works really well with Newman, and just the charm he has as a character in this film is brilliant. Butch Cassidy's Sundance Kid is a firm favourite amongst most cinema goers and film critics, and it is a strong film. I do like westerns, don't love westerns, but this is a western that if it's on, I'll always enjoy. And of course, as films go, you have the iconic end scene, which I don't want to spoil for anyone, but really, that was great for cinema audiences to see back in those days. So that's number 3. Number 2, and now we're getting into really tricky territory. How do I pick out of all of his great films? But number 2 for me is All the President's Men. First time I watched this film, absolutely loved it. Second time I watched it, still loved it. And again, it's one of those films where if it's on, you can just be glued to the screen. Again, it's a double act. It's a double act with Redford, and of course the great Dustin Hoffman. And Hoffman being such a great actor, it's hard to kind of pull off a really strong performance with someone like that, who generally tends to take up and eat up the whole screen. But Redford manages it almost casually, I would say. They're on the screen together. You can see the different personality types they each have. And Redford obviously is pivotal to the screen and also getting the film made. I think he had the book and he read the book and wanted to secure the rights and get this film made. And it's one of those cautionary tales. I think Redford does a number of films later in his career where he's doing sort of morality plays and films that are designed to show us, the lessons of life through magnified lenses of government and politics and cinema and entertainment. So he was really great at that. And this is really the first of those films that he sort of put out there, which is why it's number 2 in my list. It's such a good film to watch, riveting, as they unravel the mystery, as they sort of chase down dead ends, as they get frustrated with the information and with each other at times. It's really great to see the two of them act, and it's such an enjoyable film for that respect. And Redford is brilliant in this film, absolutely brilliant. So that is my number 2. And without further ado, drum roll please. If you know me, you may well know that this is one of my favourite films. And again, Redford, I'll call him the lead in this film, but it's such an all-star cast that he really, you look every way on the screen and there's someone amazing doing something amazing. But number 1 for my favourite Robert Redford film is Sneakers. Sneakers is an underrated classic. It's got everything that I want in a movie. It's got some of the most brilliant Oscar-winning cast of all time. I don't want to go through the names, but if you just look at them, there's at least 10 people in that film that are legends. Check it out. It's got a great plot. It sort of really advanced the computer hacking scene and also the defense scene in terms of cybersecurity. This is an early film to showcase people doing pen testing and other things. So it's got so many cool things that the writer spent time with real hackers and the real sort of people in that industry to get a great feel for it. And it's one of those fantasies that just could easily be true. But at the heart of all of it is Robert Redford and his performance as the lead character. Now, he starts off, bit of a rogue, someone that's trying to change the world for the better by breaking a law or two. And then you see later on what he's doing. And, there is an element of sort of character development in there, although albeit you don't see huge amounts of it. But you can kind of sense through the way Redford acts and talks that his character's been through a lot and is expecting a lot. But the way he interacts with everyone else, the way he's single-minded in his pursuit of trying to clear himself and his friends, the way that, again, he has a brilliant charm with everyone. He just walks in the room and everyone loves him, everyone follows him, everyone listens to him. And this is also in a team where you have Sidney Poitier, right, standing right next to you. This is in a film where you've got James Earl Jones. But Redford carries it. He's such a good lead in this film. All of the best attributes of his acting ability are on display here. Everything that I've talked about before is a tour de force for me of how good he is, how good he can be, how good a film can be with him in it. And in addition to the humor, the plot, the action, the characters, the dialogue, the banter, all of this stuff. In addition to all of this, again, when Redford's on the screen, you can't take your eyes off it. He turns this boring game of Scrabble into something riveting. Just the way that he sort of moves the pieces and the way his facial expressions change. It is so interesting to watch. If you really want to watch sort of the minutiae of quality acting, watch this film and watch Redford in it specifically. Sneakers is a brilliant film. As I said, underrated, bit of a cult classic. If you haven't seen it, please go and check it out. But that is my number one Robert Redford film. I've watched it 100 times. I will continue to watch it 100 times. If it's on anywhere, I will sit down and watch it. Great film, great cast, great performance by Redford. So there you go, there you have it. Those are my personal top 5 Robert Redford films in honor of the man that is a legend on the screen, a legend off the screen, and did more than we can ever imagine for the world of cinema, a world that I adore and spend a lot of time in. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you agree, disagree. I mentioned a few films at the top of the video which didn't really make it into the final cut. What are some of your favourite Robert Redford films? In terms of the films that I mentioned, maybe there's some things I missed or some things that you disagree with. Please let me know in the comments below. As usual, please like, share and subscribe to help support the channel. And catch you next time.